welcome back. I'm Alaina. Why is intuition important in business? By the end of this video, you're going to know the number one thing that can help you scale and grow your business effortlessly. And I promise you, it will make the biggest difference in your life. So keep watching. First thing that we're going to talk about is we're going to uncover the secret that will actually allow you to scale your business with ease. And then I will show you how this makes entrepreneurs like you be able to quantum leap in your business. Not just incremental growth, but actually make quantum leaps. Plus, how you're actually getting in the way of your own success. You'll also get the winning strategy on how to stop the struggle and scale your business effortlessly. And by the end of this video, you will learn how to be your own best business coach. So let's get started. So what is intuition in the first place, right? I was doing a little research in preparation of this video in the first place and curious to see what people were calling intuition. And people were describing it as your instincts. Now, it is not the same as your instincts. Your instincts actually come from your critter brain, right? It's a thing that keeps you alive. It comes from the oldest part of your brain. Has nothing to do with what intuition is. What intuition is, it's the inner guidance that comes from the infinite part of us, from our inner genius, right? So there is a part of us that when we actually leave our bodies continues on, and it comes from that part of us. It's an all-knowing part of us. So imagine tapping into an all-knowing part of you, what's now possible for you in your business. So first we're going to look at what are the benefits of intuition in your business. And believe me, I'm not going to be able to cover them all in this short video, but they are so numerous to mention. So come with me here. We're going to go to the board here. So the first thing, which I see over and over and over again for entrepreneurs, is that they're second guessing themselves. They're wondering if they're making the right decision, if they did the right thing, especially when they're not getting the results they want. And when you're able to tap into your intuition, you stop second guessing yourself. You know that you're on the right path. You know what you're doing is moving you forward. And that leads me to the next one, which is the exact right strategy. Now, there was a period of time a couple of years ago where I hired a business coach who was known for helping people create their yearly income into their monthly income. And he and his CEO suggested 3 strategies for me to try in my business, for me to scale my own business. And when I tuned into my intuition told me none of them were in my highest good. And it told me exactly what to do, which honestly was only clearing a whole bunch of beliefs that were in the way. And that month, I literally tripled my income, right? So you'll know the exact right strategy that you can take in your business to move it forward. And you stop throwing spaghetti against the wall and seeing what sticks and what doesn't. And it will save you a ton of time and a ton of money in the process. Then it allows you to stay in flow. So I look at hustle and flow as opposite ends of the spectrum. You're constantly hustling, you're constantly working more, you're always feeling like you have to do more. And when you stay in flow, it's like the difference between paddling upstream versus swimming downstream, right? So when you're swimming downstream, the current takes you. You don't have to do so much efforting because the current's already there, and that universal current wants to take you to that next level. So you get to stay in flow. And then you answer any questions you may have. So regardless of what you have questions about, whether it be your business, your personal life, your relationships, your children, I cannot tell you how many of my clients have had issues parenting and with their children, especially in certain years when their children may be acting out, and they're able to tap into their intuition and ask the question about what's going on with their child and what their child needs to hear from them. That literally recreates their relationship so they can be there as a support for their children in the time when their children need it the most. But you can also answer any question you have about your business, about your clients, about your messaging, any question you have. And then you become your own best business coach. Now, I do think that there is a role for business coaches and other coaches out there for sure, right? It helps us fast track our results, but when you're able to tap into your intuition, you're able to become your own business coach. You're able to know what you're meant to do to move forward. You're able to know exactly how your business wants the energy to open up, where it wants to open up, again, what strategy you're meant to use. It makes it it effortless. And so there are so many, as I said, other benefits of understanding how intuition works in your business. But when you're able to tap into your intuition, it makes you move in ease and flow, right? There's a lot of grace around it that you're able to bring into your business so it doesn't feel so heavy. And so you can get back to loving your business again, which is loving the thing of why you started your business in the first place. So if you're ready to transform your business without sacrificing your life in the process, without sacrificing your health, your relationships, your time, then make sure you like and subscribe, because I'll be giving you tons of valuable tools and tips that will help you be able to do just that. So now we're going to look at how you actually hone your intuition. So let's go back to the board. Now, one of the things to really understand is that everybody receives their messages differently. You have one primary and typically one secondary, although you can work all of these. So it's auditory, which means you hear messages, like there's a voice in your head talking, and I'm primarily auditory. There's kinesthetic, which means there's a feeling sense about things. There's visual, which means you receive images and pictures. One of my clients actually received colors, and she didn't think she was tapping into her intuition. And so when I was training her how to tap into her intuition, she thought, oh, I'm not getting anything. And she kept saying that, I'm not getting anything. And I was like, tell me exactly what you see. Are you seeing any colors? Are you seeing it? And she's like, oh yeah, I see colors. And I was like, well, tell me what's happening with the colors. And so she would do the exercises and she would tell me about the colors. And then she built up the confidence to know she was tapping into her intuition, that she started to receive messages by knowing also. And so knowing is almost as if it's just a thought in your head that you just know that it's there. And so being able to pay attention to how you're receiving the messages. Before I understood how to do the work that I do now, for example, my intuition came as questions to me. So I'd be on the verge of doing something and I would hear, are you sure you want to do that? And then it would alert me that whatever I was about to do wasn't actually in my highest good. And the more that I trusted it and acted on it, the more powerful it became. Right? So building self-awareness is the next step of how to hone it, of building your self-awareness. So for example, it could be maybe you are not aware of messages when they're coming through. Maybe you're not aware of when you're in stress, because stress blocks your intuition. So if you're in some form of fight, flight, or freeze, stress, which is stress, overwhelm, exhaustion, you're triggering your sympathetic nervous system. You're in your sympathetic nervous system, and that actually cuts off your intuition. So you're not able to receive intuitive guidance, right? So that's actually in one of them we'll talk about, but then the next one is practicing. And this is a case where practicing it does make it stronger. So the more that you practice it, the more that you build trust with yourself of receiving those messages, the easier those messages actually come to you. And it's about, like, I hear from so many people, for example, that they get the inner guidance, but they're not actually taking action on it. Right? And that is really key. And we'll talk about that in a second. But then you can sit in meditation or quiet or still your mind. So when people aren't practiced in the way that I teach, one of the things that I will say to them is ask a question and then sit, even just for 5 or 10 minutes, sit in meditation and allow yourself to quiet your mind. If you get a thought, then allow the thought to pass through. Don't judge yourself for getting a thought. It happens to everyone. Just allow the thought to pass through, and then come back to quietness as much as you can. And in the process of that, as you train yourself to do this more and more, you'll be able to receive more and more messages as a result. It's why so many people receive messages at 3 a.m., for example, those 3 a.m. genius moments, because their minds are so quiet. They're not in resistance to it. And when you're not in resistance, into any resistance, those messages can come through. Now, you can also write it down. So I have clients who do automatic writing, and in the process, writing is amazing. Even if you're not an automatic writer, it helps give validity to your ego mind that this is actually a real message, to your subconscious mind. So when you get a message, writing it down is really helpful. But then this is the next part. You must take action on it, because if you don't take action on it, the messages start to dull. They in terms of like getting quieter and quieter, because it's like, okay, why am I going to keep handing you something if you're not going to do anything with it, right? And that's ultimately what's going on with your intuition, is like the messages will try to come through, but if you're not actually taking action on it, then it makes it harder and harder for them to come through. Now, why don't people take action on it? As I was saying, so many people say they get the messages, but they don't actually take action on it. And the reason that they don't take action on it is because of their limiting beliefs. The limiting beliefs that they have in their subconscious mind. So there are so many different ways to clear limiting beliefs. You know, I used to teach a lot of my clients a lot of these strategies. There's inner child reparenting, which is actually quite effective for a lot of limiting beliefs. There is theta healing, there's hypnosis, there's NLP, there is EFT, tapping I used to do with my clients as well. Now, all of those are helpful to a certain point, and if they work for you, absolutely do whatever works for you to help clear those limiting beliefs. But they're all coming from the mind. They're all coming from your nervous system to clear the mind. They're not coming from beyond the mind. You can actually use your intuition to clear your limiting beliefs as well, to go put those, the truth of, because what is a limiting belief? A limiting belief is just an untruth you came to believe either about yourself or about life, right? And you can actually insert truth into your subconscious mind that will help neutralize those limiting beliefs, so they're no longer a problem in your life and they're not creating results that you don't want. And your intuition comes from beyond the mind. So it works so much more effectively and faster than all the other tools and techniques I've ever used in my coaching practice with my clients. So imagine, for example, your ability to be able to plug into the internet of the future, right? To be able to Google anything you ever wanted of the future, not just what's possible right now that we think is possible right now. That is what your intuition allows you to do. Can you now see how important it is to develop your intuition for your business? And I can tell you that the most successful people on this planet all talk about how they have highly developed intuition skills, because it makes all the difference in the world. You no longer have to weigh decisions. Like, I've done so many cost-benefit analysis of making a decision, and that's all coming from a place of ego. So when you're able to tune into your intuition, you just know what the right decision for you to make in any situation is. Okay, up next, I will be taking a deeper dive into your superconscious mind and how you tap into it, how you activate it, so you can start developing it and honing it to be able to use in your business. So stay tuned.